Hey, my business people, in today's lessons for business and motivation, to improve our community, improve you first. From your point of view, what are the things holding our community back? Is it reparations? Indeed, we have lost quite a bit of wealth in that respect. Is it the loss of property due to racism in the past and related violent acts of ethnic cleansing in history? Is it the lack of others respecting our history? Is it our own understanding of our history? Is it related to poor public policy? For several decades, we have grappled with these problems, but to what end? Have we advanced any? Because this world loves money and is run on it, we have to look at the bottom line to determine if we're moving ahead or not. And based on all available stats, our median incomes and net worth is at the bottom of society. No matter what our leaders have done or what we think they've done, everything we tried up till now has failed us. Please like, share, and subscribe to keep this channel growing and to help us become #1 in median incomes, finally. In my opinion, we need to rethink this strategy totally for improving our community and tackling our challenges. We have overwhelmed ourselves with too many complex battlefronts, from reparations to Black history appreciation and so-called civil rights. Over 100 years ago, W.E.B. Du Bois said the biggest challenge of the last century was the color line. It sounded noble years ago, but in reality, that was too abstract and vague to be practical. We went from the 1900 to 1920 time period where we had thriving Black Wall Street communities all over the country to a dark period from 1921 to 2020 where we no longer have that base of wealth among us. So, W.E.B. Du Bois' vision, with all due respect, was just academic talk. In reality, the true challenge for our community is not the color line, but the net worth ceiling. If you watch my videos, you've heard me say this before. In a world that loves money more than it loves people, and that same world hates us more than any other people, we have no voice. We are invisible to them because our median incomes are trash. Our net worth since 1921 has been almost zero. That is unacceptable. We can't change racism overnight. So let's set it aside and put it on the shelf over here and get back to it later. We ain't getting reparations anytime soon because our lack of money means they don't care. The Japanese Americans who were forced into internment camps in World War II got reparations because of their homeland Japan, which is a wealthy country. The world loves that wealth, so they eventually responded. So let's also put reparations off to the side for now, on this shelf over here. We'll come back to that, but we don't have basics in place to challenge that yet. Many of us believe in pushing the critical race theory because we want Zaddy to appreciate our history and confront their past sins. I understand that. But again, as much as teaching true Black history is indeed important, why would a group that loves money more than us care about our history? And in fact, why do we even care if another group appreciates our history? That comes from a position of weakness. If we want to come from a position of strength, we have to improve us. Trying to force someone to love us is so weak, my people. Why am I saying all this? Where am I coming from? Please be sure to watch my previous videos on how each of us can do better in terms of life-changing decisions. In short, our so-called civil rights strategy for this century cannot be focused on changing other people's minds. We no longer have time to wait for Zaddy to come save us with public money and the way we have up till now. No time for endless marches and protests that lead to no improvements. You right there, watching this video, you are the Civil Rights March. You are our reparations. You don't need a big bank loan from banks that redline us anyway. What you do need is to stop picking struggle majors and trades in school. As I said before, if each of us can get into STEM careers as soon as possible, we can propel ourselves forward in as little as 2 years, and even less for those of us with more ambition. With median incomes of Black men around $42,000 and Black women around $34,000 a year, we can increase each of those numbers by $10K a year within 18 to 24 months. But our window of opportunity is slipping away. If you've been paying attention to the real economic news out there, not the watered down news you see on cable news or whatever, This window of opportunity I speak of is tied to U.S. immigration policy. STEM careers are in high demand, so much so that your favorite President Biden has been trying to lift worker visa quotas to allow more foreigners with STEM skills and experience to come here. Those quotas, therefore, are your window of opportunity, so you are here already. You're here already as a full citizen. There are some major companies right now pouring money into HBCUs to help us get into STEM careers and incubate small tech businesses in our community. So what are you waiting for? Going back to the worker visa quotas, the top beneficiaries of the easing of those quotas are from China and India primarily. Now, this is not to knock either of those groups, as they are simply responding to opportunities the way they should. We have to do the same doggone thing. Just look at how China and India came up over the decades. Both countries were devastated by Western colonialism going all the way back to the mid-1800s and before that. Even in the early 1950s, both were very poor and struggling, but education was still a key value for both, and the West rebuilt them. Not because they loved them, but because they loved the cheap but educated labor force they could exploit. Again, this world loves money more than they love people. IBM was in India all the way back in 1950. Even Japan and Germany were devastated after the big war of the 1940s, you know what I'm talking about. But they both had people who prized education. So when you look at China, India, Germany, and Japan, these are four nations with educated societies that are now economic powerhouses, with China and India leading the way in STEM careers and businesses. Pay attention. Since the 1950s, the rest is history. Interestingly, even South Korea was poor in the 1950s, but became a financial powerhouse in part due to the transfer of wealth from black women, your hair and beauty businesses back in the 1960s. I did a controversial video about that last year and got a few angry comments from others outside of our community. But I have receipts on the history. I have the whole receipts, all the facts. I only bring this up because each of us has to become our own civil rights leader, improving our community one person at a time. We can't waste time on big battles that are too complex to fix our immediate income and wealth problems. So stop picking struggle majors. We have to start stigmatizing people who choose majors they can't afford to sustain. We don't need archaeologists, sociologists, psychologists, criminal justice warriors, etc. These are generally struggle majors. How many hair and nail businesses do we need? Every major and trade we've chosen up till now has failed our community. We're not rich enough to pick creative writing as a master's degree program. Where do they do that at? If you're born a millionaire, then by all means, pick all the struggle majors you want. But the vast majority of our people have the lowest median incomes and almost no net worth. Some of y'all are lying to yourselves when you flex like a millionaire baller. Stop that. Our challenge for this century is for each of us to improve our jobs and small businesses so that we focus on STEM products and services. That means technology, medicine, technology, all that kind of good stuff. The world is going digital fast, and we need to stay ahead of the curve to capitalize. What are you waiting for? If you need help making that transition, let's set up a video chat one-on-one. Of course, you know how it is. It can't be free because any experience-based knowledge that helps you get a better career or business focus will be valuable to you. But for those who just can't afford anything at the moment, I might be tempted to do a free live stream if enough of you express interest somehow. Let me know. But either way, let's set aside all the other problems facing our community and focus on individual improvement in how we choose careers, majors, and businesses. Until the next video, take care, brothers and sisters. Get off the college debt Kool-Aid, okay? My people, what does success mean? With us having the lowest median incomes and damn near no net worth per capita, we don't have the luxury of picking struggle majors. Stop that. Let's start with less expensive 2-year community colleges that offer real STEM majors that lead directly to jobs that pay higher than $55,000 a year. So, until the next video, brothers and sisters, take care.